Welcome to another great episode of the Darren Green Show. I am your humble host, Darren Green. This is a special episode. I'm joined by one of my mutuals on TikTok. You guys know her as Medusa on TikTok. How you doing?
Hi.
So how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Did you get
Thank
snowed
you for
in?
having me.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you for coming.
Yes.
Like
It's
it's crazy.
awful. It's awful. It's a whole winter wonderland here on the tri-state area.
Our winter wonderland. It always happens after Christmas. It's weird.
Right. Right.
Not climate change now.
Tea. And
um,
it always happens in February too.
yeah, end of January into February.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, child.
Yeah.
So I heard you recently because we were emailing each other. You recently graduated.
I
I
did
thought it
from
was
Temple
a couple days
University.
ago.
No, I graduated. My ceremony was yesterday on the 28th.
Okay.
But like I got my degree. My degree was awarded to me in August because of COVID. COVID just messed up everything. So,
Yeah, I know.
but yeah, I got my degree from Temple University. So
Temple. I was
yeah,
going to ask you what college you went to because I was like, I don't think we ever discussed that. But okay, Temple.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it's hard to get
yay.
in. It's okay.
Yeah, it is hard to get in, and there's not a lot of Black people there either.
Really?
Surprisingly, no, there's
Mm,
not. At least not in my school. There was not a lot of Black people that graduated. So.
mm-hmm. What did you go in for again?
Human resource management. I went to business school.
Oh,
So
okay, business
yeah.
school. Now, see, I don't know why I thought you were
Mhm.
into like communications or something in the media.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I could see that, but I wanted to go to something that makes money. No offense to my communications major or anything like that, but I wanted something that was going to be a little more lucrative, so that's why I chose that career.
right. No, that ain't no shame. Look, let me tell you something. Media arts is good, but it's like I said, yeah, it's one of those you got to get in where you fit in. You gotta sit there and do all this internships, and then you got to get experience. I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh, let me get a
You
degree.
already know.
Yeah, yeah. So what was your experience like there? I mean, everybody's college experience is
At
different.
Temple,
Mm-hmm.
um I mean, do you trying to get messy? Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
not messy.
I think that Temple is not as diverse as people would like to make it
Mm-hmm.
out to be. I was gonna put it that way. I feel like it's in a very. I think that the area makes Temple feel very like
Urban.
right, urban
Mm-hmm.
and cool and down to earth and progressive, but the actual uh, like the actual school itself is not progressive at all.
Yeah.
It's not diverse.
Okay, okay. I went to New Jersey City University. It's the way they market it is to be like this. Oh, this is a for person of color school. This is this. I'm like, and you get into it, and
Where
it's
are they
like,
at? Even when I shadowed Temple and when I was
mhm,
just like checking out the university, I came on a Friday and I was like, where the Black people at?
I would
Like,
not do that.
yeah, like I was like, where are they? And I just told myself that, like, well, it's Friday, so maybe people just aren't on campus today. Maybe people
Mhm.
just don't have class today. But
There was a. I mean, we always look at Temple like there was a surge of Black students at one point. Same with my school when I transferred. I think it was like what 2018. There was it wasn't a HBCU, but like we kind of almost considered NJCU HBCU because there was so many Black people there. But as I like
yeah,
stayed and like went through the years, I'm just like, okay, so where
where are
the
the
people
Black
at?
people at? Yeah, and that's another thing that I hate. People they even try to call Temple, like they be trying to act like Temple is a HBCU. I don't know where that came from, or they be trying to act like Temple has so many Black people on there that it's giving they even call it HBTU, only whitewashed Black people with no sort of respect for
Mhm.
historically Black universities would even describe a white institution as historically Black Temple
Right.
University. Get the fuck out of here. So I'm sorry, like, yeah,
Mm.
I'm happy that I got my degree. I'm happy, but yeah, I was very like, as you know, I'm very pro black. I'm pro
Yeah.
black on TikTok. I was very pro black in college, and there's not a lot of pro black people in Temple. I don't think so. At least, and if they were, I didn't come across them.
So you mean like the black students that were there?
Yeah, no, I
Right.
don't. They
Mm,
don't. They're not. This is again not. This is no shade like towards
right.
any Black Temple students. I just don't. I don't recall meeting any radical
Right.
Black
Right.
people at Temple. It was very much so. I'm just here to get my degree, get my job, and go. And I can respect that. I'm not mad
Mhm.
at that. But this narrative that like Temple is like super duper diverse is just a
Mhm.
lie. It's false. It's not
Well, every
true.
school has like a BSU. Did they not have one
No,
active?
they had one. They had one, but
There
I
wasn't.
mean,
Mhm.
you know,
No,
like
BSU is only as good as the leaders. At one point, our BSU was at a very strong organization, and then people graduate and certain people come in, and it's like they really not doing
yeah.
nothing but activities
Now,
and.
yeah. Now Temple's like when I was at Temple, the head uh party guy, like the head promo guy was not Black. He was a non-Black. I believe he might have been Puerto Rican. Yes. Like he looked,
Um,
yes. Yes, and he was like the guy for all the parties when I
mhm.
first transferred. Now the face of Temple parties are these two Black twins. Shout outs to the Bullet twins. I don't know. Yeah, they're on TikTok as well.
Uh-huh.
So that's good. That's cool. But
Right.
that wasn't the tea when I first came here. The head of the Temple parties, the head of the Black parties was not even Black. So that just goes to show how whitewashed Temple is and how little Black people and little Black representation that is at at that university. So
This is new information to me because I mean, it's the common misconception.
mhm.
I don't know where it came from. I mean, I guess over time people change, and Philly is kind of gentrifying if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah. Philly is super. I hope. I'm sorry. I'm getting emails and stuff. Philly is
I'm
super
sorry.
gentrified, and yeah, I think that it's just false narratives, and that's why you have to have people like myself just tell the truth. Like, no, Temple is not
Mhm.
like blackety black. If you want a Black experience, then you should go to an actual Black university.
Well,
But
see, the
we
thing
know,
about
yeah,
these
yeah,
HBCUs, though, I mean, I know you heard a lot of stories. We're both on
right,
TikTok. I did a couple videos on it because I'm like, you know what? Because I'm very passionate about like, when it comes to as a college student that actually dorms, and like we're paying all this money, and this is what we're getting. So when we think about like stuff that's going on in Howard and other
right.
HBCUs, and I'm not trying to single out everybody because every college is
Hmm.
not like that, but most colleges are cash cows.
Yeah. Yeah. With the whole Howard situation, okay, are we gonna have this conversation? Are we really gonna have it like
Let's really have it.
HBCUs? Okay, cool. So HBCUs, as since I am very pro Black, very
Mhm.
radical, I get often I'm asked like, you know, Medusa, why didn't you go to an HBCU? You claim to be so pro Black, but you went
Mhm.
to a white school, and those are legitimate concerns. And I have to, and I have to, those are questions that I am faced with often. And the truth is that these HBCUs are not hitting like that. Like,
Mhm.
these HBCUs do not offer support to their students.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, while Temple is white and all this other shit, I still graduated. I still was, given support. I feel like I still had a little more support than, other students. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you look at the graduation rates in some of these schools, I was looking at A&T, and their graduation rate is 40%. That's
Mm.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, what are you something, so and then when you have with Howard, and usually it's so funny, usually whenever we talk about HBCUs, what do we say? We say the Howards, your Spelmans, your
Yeah.
Morehouse.
Morehouse,
Okay,
Monroe.
but if
There's
you
other ones.
I didn't, right, but I didn't get accepted into Howard. That's another thing. So if I don't get accepted into Howard, my only other option, obviously there's other options, but the big dogs are
Mhm.
that's out. My only other option is Spelman, and I gotta go all the way to Atlanta. I don't have no family out there.
Yeah.
So where am I gonna go? Some West Bubble fuck ass HBCU that
Mhm.
has no sort of
No,
that
I
has
mean,
no sort of
Because I seen a
funding
lot of
those.
my people back in high school. They did that. They went to those HBCUs. I'm like, what is what?
And
Why?
where are they at now? And where is their career now? Especially considering it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah,
Like, so,
and
and this is
and I
no
think that's every
shade.
college. Like, it depends on what you want to do. Like, if we're not coming for the art majors. Hell, the media arts is art, but
Right.
yes, getting these jobs. I mean, hey, look, I've been applying and doing interviews, and the child, it's hard. So it's good to go to a college that's going to get you there. Um,
Yeah.
I think if you're pro black, that doesn't mean you automatically should have to go to a HBCU. I mean, it's you got
I
to get
think
in
that it's
where you can get accepted.
right. I think that it's again, I think it's a fair question to ask.
Hmm.
But when people ask, I'm not gonna be like classist about it and like, shit on HBCUs. My mother went to an HBCU. My
Hmm.
mother went to Howard. So I would never go about it like that. But at the same
Hmm.
time, like, let's just be realistic. The support from HBCUs are not there. HBCUs do not have the best colleges in general just don't have the best reputation right now,
Yeah.
especially with this whole Howard scandal, especially with that whole Tyrone and allegedly what was he
Yeah.
doing? Apparently they which I think is bullshit because we're not gonna pretend like PWIs aren't doing the same thing,
Like they was taking
but
somebody money or taking people money.
right,
Um,
people
yeah,
student financial aid
yeah,
and
I remember that. Like,
again,
PWIs
not to
be
say
doing
that
that too.
exactly, not to say that PWIs aren't either, but I mean, hey, I'm just saying. I think that if you go to college, you're gonna get screwed over anyway,
Yeah.
and so it just is all about which university do you think is gonna f you less harder, which one is gonna use a little more lube. And so I went
Not
with
a little more. No, that's some real shit. No, as oh my god, yes, yes. I mean, I've had conversations with people that said, money just goes in certain places and certain like the way the college went. My college child, I ain't scared, but I done graduated. They 12 million in debt. I heard you. I'm like, how y'all get there? How
Ooh,
did y'all get there?
what?
Yes,
And then student loan forgiveness where? How they gonna forgive your loans if they get 12 million in debt? I wonder how much that Temple got because child Temple is expensive.
it
Mm.
is. I mean, a lot of my school, it was. I mean, it was pretty. Well, see, I use student loans, so they gonna get me for the rest of my life unless I become rich and I'm able to pay them off. But look, hey, at the end of
Mm.
the day, I wasn't going to sit there and leave. A lot of people left, and it's like people left at like junior year. Like what?
Mm. Mm.
I
But
was
yeah,
gonna.
that's
Mm,
my little tea on Temple.
right, right,
I don't
right,
want to
right,
say too much, so because
right.
I'm
Let's switch
still
gears.
a proud owl. Yeah.
I know that's right. Let's switch gears a little bit. So you have a podcast coming out. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I do have a podcast. So I have the Mama Medusa podcast is presenting the Medusa show. And on the
Hmm.
Medusa show, we're going to talk about all things that affect Black women. It's a safe space for Black people, Black conversations, and the safe space to house my unpopular opinion. And so yeah, my unpopular yet very popular opinion that people try to pretend like they don't like, yet they keep on listening to. So yeah,
Mm.
that's pretty much it.
Now you do have a pilot episode for it. Like,
I do. I do.
mhm,
I just released it on YouTube. And so basically I was just talking about my experience on TikTok, and all the ups and downs and the obstacles and what has inspired me to start my podcast. So I'm excited. I'm excited. So we're gonna talk about like everything that's happening in the news, everything that's affecting Black women, Black
mhm.
our mental health, and me just giving my opinion and my commentary on it.
I love it, love it, love it. So is this like an extension to your TikTok? And I guess that will segue into the TikTok questions, but it's going to be
Yes.
something like that, but in a more
Basically,
longer.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times, and even on TikTok, I have a lot of people requesting me to talk about certain things and elaborate on certain things, and this
Hmm.
will be a better way for me to do that. So now, when I say something on TikTok, I can say, and if you want to hear more, if you want more information on
Hmm.
this,
Get that plug
because
in.
yeah, because a lot of y'all, Google is free, but since a lot of y'all do be coming to me, to educate you, because I am like a mother to a lot of these kids, to a lot of these young girls. They mama didn't raise them properly, and so they look for guidance from me. That's why I call myself Mama Medusa. They come and they seek nourishment from my bosom. And yeah, I supply them with everything that they need. I hope you know that I'm like totally kidding.
Right, no,
Like
because I'm like, okay, oh, all right,
I'm watching you
yes.
and I'm like, yeah, like this is like I'm joking. Like it's like
No, I mean, but they do. Look, there's a lot of people that I watch a lot of your videos. First of all,
thank
oh my
you.
goodness, like I just didn't remember when you started following, but I think it was something I stitched to yours, and then I think you followed me, and I followed you
Probably.
back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, I was just like, I went on your live, and you was like, you talk to people, like people get on live, child. They be like, oh, okay, I'm like, you actually talk to the folks, okay. And there's a lot of things that I was like, the whole thing with and we had this conversation beforehand about that person that took one of your videos, and I was like, at first I was like, well, I don't wanna give you a little bit of clout or anything, but they using your stuff and not tagging you in it. I'm like, well, shit, I need to scour YouTube
Yeah.
and all them places to see if people doing that to me and not to.
Yeah, for context purposes,
Hmm.
people have been taking my TikToks, downloading them, and posting them onto whatever site that they're on, whether it be YouTube,
Hmm.
Instagram, Facebook, which is a whole nother world. I don't even get who the fuck is on Facebook anymore. Not I, but I'm just saying. But yeah, like but it's cool. No shade to anybody. I mean, hey,
Right,
promo is promo. So they're taking my TikToks, they're taking my content, they're posting it onto other people's platforms, and and they're not tagging me at all. And it's been happening since I started my TikTok, which is why I'm doing my podcast because,
right.
you know, why go to the other people? You can just come to the main
main
source. So
main
yeah.
source. I think and when we get into TikTok, what made you get on the app essentially? Because you said you had your time on YouTube before.
Yeah, I'm still on YouTube. I'm just not as
Mhm.
consistent. So with TikTok, basically, quarantine, nothing to
Right.
do, stuck in the house with nothing to do. And I
Mhm.
had TikTok on my phone, but I didn't really like TikTok when I first downloaded it. Like I was just looking at the dance videos and I didn't realize how the algorithm worked. Like, the more you watch it, the more it's gonna show up on your page. And so every
Mhm.
time I would come on, I'm like, why is all these white people dancing on my For You page? Like, I don't care about this. So then I started eventually like looking at other stuff. And it wasn't until I started creating my own content. I was honestly just talking. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't have no followers, just putting my stuff out in the abyss. And one day I had said something. I made a video. It's kind of embarrassing. I made a video about like vaginal hygiene. I was like, girl, I just went to the doctor and just told them about my experience. And then the next day I woke up and it had like 25,000 views. And I was
Oh
like, oh
Lord, I
my
was like, oh
God,
my
this
god.
is so embarrassing. Like, but it's people
Yeah.
like that real, people like that realism. People like that. So
And you give it to them. Like how's your experience been on the app? Because I know it has changed. Well, when did you get onto the what year?
so I started again, so I started making TikToks March 2020.
Okay, so all 2020. That's when TikTok really
Wait,
got
no, actually, no. March 2021.
2021. Oh,
Yeah, because I've only been on there for like a year. Actually, no. December 2020 is when I first started
okay,
making my
December
first TikTok.
2020.
December 2020.
So I think you
So
kind of
like
started the
right,
same time I did because I was
yeah.
yeah I was a little bit in the in like late 2020 fall into the next year 2021. I didn't start really booking until like the summer. That's yeah
Oh,
yeah
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is for me. It was like you watch so much stuff that pisses you off, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna stitch that today.
Say something. Yeah, I'm gonna say something. Right.
Yeah.
Today I chose violence today.
Hmm.
So,
But
yeah.
speaking of that, honey, now you
Oh
have
Lord.
you have a lot of good takes on your show or on your page.
Mhm.
You have been known to ruffle some feathers now.
I do. I get the girls to tussle. Shout
You
out
get
to
the girls to
Kay.
tussle.
They be tussling, literally
Is
tussling,
it
fighting for their
intentional? Because
lives.
I don't think it's intentional. I just think you just having a conversation
No,
and people just like, what?
I'm
Mhm.
glad that you asked that. No, it is not intentional. I do not wake up. Now, yes, maybe every once in a while I'll say something or I'll think of something and I'm like, do I want to say this? Because I know that this is gonna get taken out of context. I know that this may, but bother some people. And half the time when I do think that, I just don't say it.
Right.
When I do make my commentary, especially in the beginning, before I
Mhm.
realized the influence that I had and how, like, the ability I had to, like, make people so upset. Because again,
Mhm.
like, I don't know these people, so I didn't think that I had that power. And I would not have that power if they didn't give it to me. But before I
That
realized
part.
that, I was just, giving my piece and saying my take. And I did not like, I remember this one person was like, you need to be more mindful of the things that you say. You know that what you're saying can trigger people. And I'm just like,
It's the
how the
audacity.
fuck, how am I supposed to know, how am I supposed to be aware of your triggers if I don't fucking know you? Like, if anything, you need to be more mindful of your triggers and not get on this damn app and interact with content that bothers you so much. Like, so no, and to go back to your question, no, it's not intentional at all.
Mhm.
I do not wake up in the morning with intentions of pissing people off. If anything, it's the exact opposite. I'm
Mhm.
actually trying my best to not bother people, to not, hurt anyone's feelings. But people are so fucking sensitive, and
Ooh.
people are so, miserable,
Mhm.
that they allow for the opinions of strangers to ruin their whole day. And I have no control over that.
Mhm. I mean, because we see that there are certain creators that do rile people up intentionally, like, some of our mutuals and stuff, and we ain't gonna get into
Say
it.
their names.
Oh,
Say
not say
their
their
names.
name. But if you're not gonna say it, keep it on the playground. Child.
I'll say a name. You know Keto Rose?
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
Cause
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't, and maybe I just don't. She has said some things that I don't agree with. She has said some things I don't agree with. But I do think that half the times that she says things, I think that like half the things that she says is not that fucking deep. It's not
Mhm.
that controversial. But because people don't like her, and because she has this reputation of just pissing people off,
Yeah.
like I remember when she made that comment about Starbucks, and she was like, "Oh, I hate it," or "I love it when the person is rude to me on Starbucks." She turned TikTok over because she turned TikTok upside down, because she said that, like, if a service worker gives her attitude, she gonna call their manager.
Managers and the
And
manager's manager. Yeah, I remember that.
right. And I thought the shit. I thought it was a fucking joke. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was funny. I mean,
Mhm.
clearly I wouldn't do that, but whatever. And it just became this thing of like, oh, social workers, service workers matter, and people in that industry matter, and
Mhm.
why blah 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 blah. And it's just like, I mean, I'm not trying to advocate for you to be getting people fired and shit like that, but at the same time, I don't think that what she said was that serious that it
Mhm.
needed, like, they made it seem like she said something about cancer victims, or like,
Right.
like it's a
Now there
joke. It's a
yeah. That aspect, I mean, that did I didn't give it no I didn't give that video no attention, but I know a lot of people was talking about it. Because I guess she was kinda echoing Karen in a certain way. That's something that a Karen would do, and to see a black woman do that is like,
the black women do it.
yes, but which I think I'm like, well, I mean,
Is that the
black
same
women are
thing
not
though?
monolithic.
Exactly.
So that's why I was like, I don't really care. I don't really. But the topics that I did kind of was like kind of weird to her with was one of the big conversations was the whole bisexual thing. Like, oh, somebody, or she was like,
Can
she
we
was backing. Remember Super Straight? Do you
can
remember
we
that?
Oh no, I don't remember that.
She
I don't, I might have not been on TikTok or during that
There
time.
was
That
this
that
group.
sounds very offensive already.
No, but there was this okay because I guess because you know how the LGBT community have we have our symbol or flag whatever's that third. There was a bunch of straight people that was like, oh no, I'm super straight. That means I don't date bi and I don't do this and we're become our own. They had a flag and everything. It was the Pornhub colors. Like I'm
Oh
like
my god.
yeah, TikTok.
And she was on that type time?
Well, she wasn't on it, but she was definitely like endorsing it. Like she said, some people with the super straight thing, some people just feel like da 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 da. Like I'm like, what? That's when because I used to follow her, like because her stuff. A lot of people used to get mad at her when she that whole week thing, like, oh, you know,
Yes. And she
like
was right. She was right. She said what she said. If you
some
let
stuff she say she get wrong, and I'm like, okay, that's
yeah,
I had to lead a
that's
boat. I had to
right.
lead a boat.
Well, a broken clock is right twice a day. But she was right about that weak shit. You let a
Mm-hmm.
nigga whoop your ass, that's weak.
Mm-hmm.
Get up, stand up,
Not get
like
up, not stand out.
stand up. Have some goddamn respect for yourself.
Oh Lord,
I'm
child.
sorry. I know that sounds hard and it sounds harsh and da da da
Mm-hmm.
da, but
Like the way TikTok has birthed a lot of, just bottom of the barrel content I've ever seen. Well, we've seen this with Vine. I mean, you had a conversation. I mean, Vine was definitely like the blueprint.
yes, I saw a lot of TikTokers feeling very self righteous, really jumping out there and comparing themselves to Viners as if as if we are not cut from the same low vibrational ass cloth, uncreative ass cloth. Like Vine was the blueprint for mediocrity that we see on TikTok today. So
Now,
stop
a
it,
lot of them people just
okay?
say, "Look, I'm trying. We trying to be fan favorites here, honey. I'm taking my platform elsewhere." And that's
That's
the
another
thing.
thing. That's another thing. Since we're talking about being able to transfer your platform onto other platforms, a lot of these girls, I ain't trying to be messy, but I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, girl, you know, it's not clicking, it's not the math ain't mathing. You got
Mm-hmm.
all these followers on one platform and then you got barely 500 on the next. What's going on?
Not the ratio ain't ratioing.
It's
Like,
not. It's
mhm,
not. You're
and
not.
I had conversations with creators like this. Like, I can't leave. I can't go here because no one follows me. I'm like, first of all,
That's a red flag.
but no, not even just that. It's like it's people are. I'm not saying that the people are lazy or anything like that, but it's like people are so used to the numbers on TikTok, and that anything less than 1,000 on another app. Like at the end of the day, I built my YouTube up. Like TikTok saved my YouTube account because I
Yeah.
wasn't making no type of views on there. I started putting the shorts
Same.
on there, and the shorts started working. I started getting mad followers and subscribers and stuff like that. So it does have some type of work if you put in the effort. It's like, oh no, I need this or I need that. YouTubers had. I'm like, honey, I just got like a cute little Logitech mic and a $60 microphone, not mic, camera. So I'm like,
Not only
child,
that,
make it work.
not only that, I think that oh my god, I just forgot what I was about to say. I think that um I think that the girls on TikTok, like first of all, they need constant validation.
Mm,
And so, like you said, so if the numbers ain't, and then even then, I'm looking even some of the large TikTokers. I know this one girl, this one bitch that keeps stitching everything that I do. Everything I do, I don't even know her name. I'm like, girl, you got 26,000 followers, but your views is barely hitting 500. What's going
it
on?
was her
What's going
content. Look.
on? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, because what it is that TikTok, um, TikTok roots for the underdog.
Hmm.
That's really what it is. TikTok is the only platform for specific people, for like people who are not influencers, people who are not the it girls, the pretty girls.
Yeah.
Like this is the only place for you to really you're not going to get the same engagement and traction that you're going to get on TikTok. That's the only place that you're going to get that engagement.
Yeah.
And so you take full advantage of it, but always keep in mind that TikTok is not going to be around forever. So what happens when this app is gone? Then what?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, is it going to be a Facebook and Instagram? Like, I see that being a thing. TikTok is still popular. TikTok is still that girl right now.
Snapchat was that girl, and we saw what happened with that.
Yeah. All they need is one allegation. It's or not allegation, but like a. Well, I mean, and when you think about it, first of all, Snapchat they did an update that people did not like, and they did that thing to Rihanna. They said, "Would you
Yeah,
rather
I didn't like
punch
that.
Chris Brown or
Yeah,
slap Rihanna or something like that?"
yeah.
Rihanna spoke out about that. People left. I was just using that app as a mirror. like for because
Right.
it had the best. You know, your music didn't turn
Right.
off when you turned on
Right.
Snapchat. Look, but now I delete that shit. Yeah, it's. I
Mhm.
mean, TikTok. I don't see it in yet because, like I said, it's still kind of new. It's still people are still on it. But you're gonna want to get your content. I'm look. I'm telling you, once I get to 1,000 hits on 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I already got the community tab. Find me on there. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because these apps stand the test of time. And TikTok, I don't know. It's very shaky with TikTok. We almost lost it because Trump wanted to ban it or something. Yeah, the girls was whoo. If I was a creator at that time, I would have been struggling. I'd have been like, oh my god, I
Mm.
hope they don't turn this thing off.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Child.
Now, I wanted to ask you just one with two more questions I have. Well, first, I know you haven't spoke about this a lot, but a lot of people are talking about it, and I kind of have like a opinion on it because it's just like, okay,
Okay.
the Axel, you know that Axel guy that is in he lives in New York or whatever. He got what's it called, rejected from Juilliard or some shit. He's a white guy. Everybody's talking about
I
like, oh my god, you never heard, you don't be seeing his
No.
videos. People be switching his videos mad,
No.
like talk about like, oh my goodness, like how do you fail upward and you got an apartment in New York and he got like a modeling agency. Oh, you ever heard about
Was
that?
it recent? Was it if it was recent, then
It's pretty recent, yeah. I mean, they've been
what
talking about it for a bit.
happened?
Okay, so this dude Axel, he's like into acting or something like that.
Okay.
He applied for Juilliard and got rejected. But a
And he's
modeling
white.
agency, he's white, and he people know that he comes from money, but he moved to New York City, gotten a little apartment. He does like stupid, like, oh, I'm gonna show you how to make instant this, or I'm gonna show you how to cook
Okay.
with my hot thing, or hot plate thing, or whatever.
Mhm.
He got a modeling agency, and he's blown up on TikTok. Like we're talking like his stuff is
It's
millions of
like a
views every,
million. Okay.
and people are like, oh my goodness, like how do you fail upward? And certain people don't have the same, and they're attacking him kind of, but it's like, I don't know. I just thought you would have. I thought you had. Well, you don't know about it. I thought you would have an opinion on it because a lot of
I
people
have no
have.
thoughts. It's like,
You have
oh
no
shit.
parts. Yeah,
I have no thoughts. I
yeah.
don't. Well, what are the people saying? I don't
They're saying
understand what
like,
the
oh,
controversy is.
like how the opportunities aren't given to black creators, and that we're and it's like a push to get him to like realize that or address it, but it's like, why do y'all expect that to happen? Like he understands that he's like benefiting off of his privilege. Like he's not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, well I know I wouldn't get the same. Like why do you want people to say? Why do you want him to say
Yeah,
that?
I think, and that's another thing. That's another thing I have with TikTok and the girls.
Mhm,
Like, I don't know what, when, where, or why this whole subculture of black people addressing white TikTokers and like holding them accountable and exposing them for racist behaviors and
mhm.
trying to like make them apologize and acknowledge their privilege. Why? Why do I care? When half of these people that these creators be talking about, I've never fucking heard of you before in my life. You're making them bigger. And that's my thing with some of these creators. It's like y'all making them bigger than what they were. That
Mhm.
whole situation with Angela, that y'all made Angela, all
Yeah,
you TikTok Avengers, y'all made
not
Angela
TikTok Avengers.
way bigger than what she was. She had a little small following of 30,000 people. Y'all blew her up to make it to over 150K, and then and made her platform large, and gave her a large platform to allegedly groom children and all that. Y'all did that because we wasn't even really checking for her like that until y'all started talking about it.
Child, these TikTokers was playing Oprah. Okay, not doing interviews to allege.
Karen, Auntie Karen,
Oh,
Patrick, all of you,
like
all
I'm
of
like,
you, you all of it. It was a mess.
it was a mess. I'm glad
It
it's
was
kind
a
of like
mess.
subsided, but like,
It was a mess.
I was like, honey.
It was a mess. I'm sorry. It's just stupid. And it's
Mhm,
like these are supposed to be well respected people
mhm.
acting. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, no. I mean, I agree. I think a lot of people. I don't know. It's something. It's something. There's some kind of drug that, and I've seen it. Like
Woo!
it's
Yes.
when you see them numbers and when you see people like interacting with you, like I had to check my own damn self. I'm like, okay, calm down, you know, because like I recently
Yes.
like no,
The
I recently got
pheromones,
yeah,
the
like when you see them views,
something.
like my last video got like okay, it got like 1 million views or whatever. I was talking about Euphoria, which is going to be our next topic. But
Okay.
um, I was like, well, okay, cool, but people they really go on, like they be like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm the most popular, this, that, the third, this, that. I'm like, honey,
On here, on TikTok.
on here,
But in
people live in their
anywhere
own little
else.
world on TikTok.
Yeah, but anywhere else, like you don't matter. Like no one cares. I promise you, they don't.
Hmm.
No one cares. Like, yeah, you might have your like little local fandom, but like
Yeah,
outside of TikTok, you do not matter. You are just you're just another person.
the whole thing about drama, I call it drama talk because I'm like people wanted me to come for that dude with the ponytail, you know, the middle ground on TikTok. He stitched one of my videos talk about the Miles Morales, me calling him black, and people getting, you know, in their feelings and in my comments and stuff like that. They said they was tagging me in his videos, like I guess his people's or whatever. I'm like, I'm not going back and forth with that man.
Good, good.
I said
I
I'll
don't
talk about celebrities.
thank you. I don't do the TikTok drama. Um
Yeah.
it's just I don't have time for that.
I mean, it gives you a quick fix. You get some followers, and some likes, but at what point, at what cost though? Because people think that, oh, they can dox you and this, that, and third, and then their fans want to sit there and try to dox you and try to find information on you. I'd be like, child,
It was a mess.
I'm gonna keep it neutral. You know, I always do. I keep it real
Right.
neutral with certain topics. Now, Euphoria.
I'm over
You
it.
now this is gonna this is gonna be the last question of the interview. Now, Euphoria,
Okay.
you had an opinion.
I did.
I believe it has
I
to
s-
do with
and
glorif
and still do.
and still do has um is the show potentially glorifying child
Child
porn.
pornography.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
and there was people that, you know, felt away, and I know
Pa-
we
the only people that fell away were people that like watching kids having sex,
oh,
and those are potential pedophiles or pedophile, and for all y'all that are like, oh, I'm still 17, children can still molest other children, so
mhm,
yeah. Like, okay, so you being a minor does not absolve you of
mhm,
pedophiliac tendencies. You getting
mhm.
stressed up in your chest because I didn't say that. I said what I said. I didn't say that if you watch Euphoria, you're a fucking pedophile. That's not what I said.
Okay,
I
because
said that
that was
Euphoria,
what people
that's
thought.
not
Yeah.
that's not what I
Mhm,
said. And if you thought that, then that's on you. That's on
mhm,
you for thinking that. That's not what I said. I said that Euphoria is glorifying child pornography, and
mhm,
watching children having sex is rooted in pedophilia. And what about, and I
mhm.
don't see what about that is weird. I mean, every episode, that's what's being emphasized. Children
Yeah.
having sex, teenagers having sex.
Well, that's a real big issue with a lot of shows nowadays. Because look, Euphoria ain't the only one that has sex scenes with high schoolers. I mean, we got Sex Education on Netflix, 13 Reasons Why, which shows rape. Oh my god!
Oh, I
Like
didn't know that.
you never watched 13 Reasons
No,
Why?
I didn't. There you go. You're damn right. I don't watch
So
shit
so
like that.
Well, I think a lot of people are numb because it's like, well, we done seen everything with other shows. Euphoria does it a little bit too graphic, I will admit, because a lot of people are complaining that there's too much nudity going on. Even the girl that plays Cassie said, yeah, well, you know, I agree to that. I'm topless in every freaking episode so far. It's season 2. Season 1 was never like this. It it
let me
wasn't.
say let me say this. So season 1, which was
Hmm.
2 years ago, you know, I was what, 25? Maybe
Hmm.
24 or whatever, when season 1 first came out. So I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but I was a little younger. And the scenes were not as graphic, but I do remember I was watching it with one of my family members, and she told me to turn it off because it was triggering for her. That was
Hmm.
season 1.
Wow.
Season 1. Right. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, it wasn't until she mentioned that I never really started. It wasn't until that I wasn't forced to pay attention to like, oh, well, maybe these scenes can be so triggering. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm a little older. I now understand I understand how triggers work. And so now and now the scenes have become a lot more graphic.
Yeah.
Like season 1, I could deal with season 1.
Yeah.
That fucking episode with Nate's father and him talking about come in my mouth, why? Like, why do we
That
have
whole
to go?
montage that Nate had with Cassie and Cal, and then y'all try to humanize Cal in the next episode, trying to make. I'm like,
And then right, and
to make me feel bad.
What the fuck does him having a crush on his high school friend have to do with him liking little boys as an adult? What is the correlation? Like, there is like, okay, like so you used to like a little boy when you were a little boy and now you like little boys as an adult? No, you're a pedophile. That's it. There's
Sam Levinson is really coming into question now. Like, a lot of people are starting to question him. A lot of the actors are starting to really like be like, what's like, why is my character doing this? You know,
I'm questioning. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, you go ahead. You was about to say something.
I'm questioning the director. I'm questioning the actor. The person who plays Nate's father. I'm looking at you sideways, bruh.
Not
Like,
playing the role too good.
yeah. I would be very disturbed. Again, I think it's like they was talking about Greenleaf, the actor from Greenleaf. He apparently is playing a child molester, and he was saying how that role was like very triggering for him and da 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 da. But from what I understand, I don't think that they ever show him in the act. I think that you know what I'm saying. Like they might show a couple flashback scenes and paint the story, but they don't have him legit in the bed with someone who is playing a child, telling them what to do and how. No. That's too much. Once we start doing, and yes, I understand it's HBO, but that to me, that's just an excuse for y'all to just watch. You to just okay.
We understand. It's concerning that this is gonna cause a lot of people that are pedos to look at this show and get off on it.
And that, and they are. That's the thing. It's not. They are getting off on it, and that's why they're getting so damn defensive when you call them out on it. You like that shit, you nasty motherfucker. You like that shit. And these Gen Z has a king. Gen Z is just throw that whole generation away. Just throw them in the trash.
Not throw the whole generation away. I think look, not everybody is Gen Z because I do say I'm on the cusp because I'm 24. I think I side with y'all with a lot of things, but sometimes with Gen Z they can be a little like, come on now.
My thing is just like we have progressed. I just don't understand why
I feel like they're young and immature and they just love seeing like a crazy like type, because let's be clear. I mean, when I was in high school, what shows was out like that was like really racy? And I mean Degrassi
and Skins.
See, I never
Or
watched
whatever.
I never got into that. But yeah, people talked about how that was like a little too much.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But again, I think that we have moved. I think that one thing about millennials, we try to be as progressive as possible. So, y'all, Gen Z, y'all love to talk about nuance and all this other shit. But then, I mean, y'all the only generation that I hear using that terminology that much. And so for someone that's so, emphasized, so fixated with nuance, I don't understand how, me saying that watching children having sex is rooted in pedophilia. I don't see why that's so grand and so hard for you to wrap your little mind around. I know you're young, but you're not dumb, are you? I know you're young, but you're not dumb, are you? Okay. So
well, the whole argument of it being relatable, that was going around a lot on TikTok as well, of this series being
that's trauma bonding. That's what that is. Y'all like to bond over trauma, and it's fucking weird. Bitch,
because when people was coming for remember them when they had like when Lena Waithe made that show about this
I
black
didn't
family.
watch it.
I didn't watch it either because I'm like, this is trauma porn. This is basically like, I don't want to see some new age type show that has to do with racist neighbors that do like old Jim Crow shit. Like I was not into that. I will say this. because when we talk about Euphoria weekly on the show. Um, one of the hosts, which is a mutual of mine, I don't know if you know her, Anastasia, she brought up a good fact that like when people complain that why couldn't this show been on in a college space, one of her responses, well, the thing about college and the thing about high school, you're kind of these characters are connected to each other. You don't have that same connection in college. You don't like somebody, you don't see them ever again. So that's why it kind of makes sense that this is a high school show. I do also agree that in the future, could we do more shows that deal with grown folk? You get what I'm saying? I think because these shows are not marketed for, even though these adults are playing teens, they're not marketed to
Right.
teens. They're marketed to us to so we can
Grown
potentially relate
adults.
to our high school experiences, which I ain't never been through. I mean, people did Molly and stuff like that, but ain't none of that was going on in my high school. But maybe I'm just a little too conservative. But I mean, but like it's.
I'm sorry, and not to cut you off, but that's another good
Mhm.
point. Like, which one is it? If this show is not that goddamn relatable, it's only relatable if you went to school with white people. But if you went to school with white people with the honkies, and if you went, you might want to maybe you need to edit that part out,
Not the honky.
but not the honkies, child. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
if you went to a whitewashed high school, and but some of y'all are telling yourselves, which one is it? Did you go and if you went to school with white people, then I understand why your ass got them pedophiliac ass tendencies,
Ooh,
because
child.
yeah, because I mean, hello, shout out to the Catholic Church. We know what type of time that these white people are on. So if you went to a school with white people, then that actually explains a lot.
Mm.
That's why you can relate to them so much. I didn't go to school with white people,
Hmm.
so well, actually, I did, but I had a diverse high school experience.
Yeah, mine was
So
predominantly black. So I mean, and it was a strict. But the school I went to was a real strict school. So ain't nothing was happening. I mean, people, like I said, people was bringing in liquor, people was doing mollies, people was selling and stuff like that, like weed and all that. But this stuff, I mean, I like the way they do Zendaya's character, and Dare came out and said their little statements that they glorifies drug use and stuff like that. I guess, but see that argument
fentanyl,
though.
fentanyl.
But
Who
see
the
that
fuck? Who?
argument, I'm like, I don't. When I watch Zendaya, I'm not influenced to do drugs. Like I feel real bad for her. I'm like, girl, she need help. Like it's not. But I guess like to a kids, because there probably is kids watching this.
They make it look cool.
Mm-hmm.
They make it look cool. They make it look fun. I don't know, and that's nothing. If it's so relatable, what high school is doing fentanyl? I know that fentanyl is a more popular drug and stuff, but
Oh,
stop.
I could believe that there's some white school. Let me tell you something. My mother went to Notre Dame. That's a real big school in Princeton, or Lawrenceville, whatever. No, Princeton. They were doing so much stuff, my dad told me, but being that he went to Trenton High, it was always publicized because Trenton High, primarily black school, it was in the urban community, that was that and third. But when he went to my mother's prom, he was seeing all these white boys doing all these little this and that and trying to offer him. I'm like, child, you'll never know. So I can believe that it's something like this could be happening. I've talked to people that said, yeah, the people that was on the panel saying that this stuff was happening in my high school. I know a Rue, I know a Jules, I know a Maddie, a Cassie. I'm like, okay, well, God
Okay, right.
bless.
Yeah, you know one, but are you one? Do you relate to any of the people on the character? Just because you know somebody that okay, yeah, we all know somebody that was fucked up and that was doing drugs and that was sucking and fucking everybody. Okay, yeah,
Hmm.
sure. But do you relate to those characters?
Hmm.
No. Yeah,
Right,
we all know somebody that's like that. But is there anybody on the show that you relate to aside
right.
from Lex, the normal one that doesn't do any of that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, do I relate? I mean, I think people just. I mean, it's just shock value. A lot of that's what this season is really giving, and I hope that we can get to a point where we get some character development.
And I just want to say, yes, I agree with that. And I just want to say, like, a lot of people, it's just so funny. Like, everybody that comes out and that's like, that show is so relatable. I'm like, well, I don't relate to you. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
me and you are not. There's like a lot of the creators that are saying that show is relatable. I'm like, yeah, and look at your content. Look at that whitewashed ass content that you be making. Of course you relate to this shit.
Ooh,
Like,
child. People on TikTok, it's they going TikTok is TikToking. I've been in
But
my fair share situations with people like I'd be like, look, I'm gonna this. I done stop responding to people. I don't respond to people, and you know them little respond comments. I'll probably do one or two if I have to, but these people, you ain't getting nothing from me, child.
good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worth it.
Period. Well, thank you so much for joining the show. We had a really great episode. This was
Thank
definitely eventful.
you.
I probably got to take out edit some stuff.
Yes, you gonna have to edit my name
Right,
so they
that
know they're not going after me.
right. I don't want nobody doxing Medusa. Okay.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining the show. Thank you so much for listening to this show. And please be sure to give this video a like and a thumb, or not a like and a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Follow Medusa. Where's your plugs? Come on, let's get the plugs out.
You can follow me on YouTube at Medusa Show Off. You can follow me on Instagram at Medusa Show Off and on TikTok at Medusa Go Off, GOAWF, or my second TikTok, which is the Medusa Show.
All right. See y'all later.
Period.